It finally happened. The torture is over. I woke up and I got my wish. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Better city that fits my personality, the blue-collar work ethic, just the passion that they bring in everything they do. I'm the same way. So I love it here. I absolutely love it here, and the fact that the city gets behind this event, the city gets behind what we're doing from foundation things. Obviously, they get behind us in a huge way when it comes to football. But nights like tonight and the things that we have going on just means a ton that they're behind us in everything we do.
Well, it finally happened. That's right. Now former Philadelphia Eagles franchise quarterback Carson Wentz has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts. This is Eagles News Now. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde, live from bar 4133, in what will be my last appearance in this Carson Wentz Philadelphia Eagles jersey. Now, I've seen a lot of good times and a lot of bad times, kind of like Carson Wentz as an Eagle. Let's get into my reaction from this, but first let's talk about what the deal was. So, Adam Schefter announced that Carson Wentz is traded to the Colts in exchange for a 2021 third-round pick, which would be number 85, a conditional 2022 second-round pick that can potentially, which I think it will be, turn into a first-round selection as long as Carson Wentz plays 75% of the Colts snaps in 2021 or Wentz plays 70% of the time and the Colts make the playoffs. So, look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This is for a third-round pick and a first-round pick. As long as Wentz stays healthy, which he stayed healthy getting hit and sacked, or at least getting sacked 50 times last year. He took a beating. He will not take that same beating, I do not believe, in Indianapolis, as that team loves to run the ball, has good coaching, and has an outstanding defense, in my opinion. So, the deal set. What did I think? First off, I wake up every day doing the same thing, checking my phone. Now, I got off at 8 o'clock in the morning, went to bed, and I checked my phone around 2 o'clock and saw that a deal had finally happened, that the Colts had traded for Carson Wentz. The first thing I saw was the third-round pick, and immediately I hated it because I'm thinking to myself, couldn't they at least have gotten those 2 twos? Then after seeing the conditional pick, which is going to be a first-round pick, I think it's fair compensation for Carson Wentz. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Last year, he was the 34th ranked quarterback in the NFL. Looked even worse than that. He's a quarterback with an injury history. Like I said, even though he stayed pretty much healthy the past 2 seasons, except for Jadeveon Clowney, dropping all 250 pounds of his body weight onto Carson Wentz's head in the playoffs. So there is a lot of baggage as far as the reports that he's not a coachable guy, the reports that him and Doug Peterson couldn't get along, the reports that he can't get along with teammates, that he's not a leader. A lot of baggage for Carson Wentz. So I think this is completely fair, a third in what will end up being a first-round pick for Carson Wentz. Now, look, again, it's an organizational failure if you look at it that he's been traded. So I guess you can say my reaction when I first saw it was relief, and then happiness and sadness at the same time, because, look, again, I'm not one of these Carson Wentz haters. I'm not one of these guys that have hated him since he got injured in L.A. in the 2017 season. I look at Carson Wentz as a quarterback that came in here as a franchise guy, pick number 2. The city fell in love with him. 2017 was one of the best years an Eagles quarterback had, and it was the absolute best Eagles season because they won the Super Bowl. Now, yes, Nick Foles was the MVP. He was excellent and outstanding in the playoffs, but without Carson Wentz, they don't get there. To me, that's fact. You can argue it if you will, but look, it's fact. They just wouldn't. He had an outstanding season, comes back in 18, breaks his back, gets hurt, comes back in 19, takes the team, a practice squad load of players into the playoffs, then gets hurt, and then, of course, 2020 comes, and he is just absolutely horrible. Now, look, there's a lot of excuses a Carson Wentz apologist could make, which I'm not one of them. Excuse me. You could say the COVID era, COVID-19, things weren't normal. Workouts weren't normal. There was no real training camp. There were no preseason games, which Carson wouldn't have played anyway. he didn't have talent around him. His the offensive line was hurt. A lot of people don't understand that, and I'll get to that in a minute. The offensive line was hurt from game one of this season. He was sacked a lot. I mean, there's so many different excuses an apologist could use, but when you look at his play, when you watch every snap like I did, and again, I was a guy that was on board with the Carson Wentz revenge tour in 2019. I said I thought he'd have an MVP season in 2020. I absolutely believed in him. But in 2020, what happened to the Carson Wentz that I grew to love from 2017 and even 2019 completely disappeared. He looked like a completely different player. His play was so bad that I couldn't stick up for him anymore. I couldn't. There wasn't anything I could say when he's missing wide open wide receivers, when the ball's going over the head of running backs on screen plays, when he is holding onto the ball so long that he gets a safety like a rookie would, like a rookie did later. It was stuff was just there was nothing. It was unexcusable. I could not stick up for Carson Wentz anymore. So if you do that to a guy that actually likes Carson Wentz, what does that say to other teams that are trying to trade for him? Then yes, I know. In a perfect world, Howie Roseman would actually be a good general manager and not draft Jalen Hurts in the second round. Now, look, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a stud of a player. That's, again, another video for another day. But you don't pick him in the second round when you have so many other needs. When your salary cap, is going to be hurting in 2021, should be better in 2022. But you just don't do that. But, again, if you're Carson Wentz, why not be a leader? Why not buck against it like an Aaron Rodgers did? Why not say, okay, I'm going to show you how great I am, and you just missed out on a second-round pick. And then, after he ends up playing so poorly, he gets benched, and he takes that, and again, excuse my language on this, but he takes it like a bitch. And, I think it was before the Cardinals game. It might have been before the game after that, where a report came out Sunday morning before the game that Carson Wentz was not going to be a backup, that he was not happy being a backup. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that right there was one huge red flag. Then not to speak since December, since being benched, not to speak since December, absolutely rubbed me the wrong way. You've got fans, you've got children, you've got people that look up to you. I mean, look, the Eagles gave you a $100 million contract. All right, they awarded that to you. And again, this is a huge failure by Howie Roseman, not just for the picks that he gave up to get Carson Wentz, but signing Carson Wentz to that big deal, only to now trade him because of. And there's again, Howie. Listen, I think you got a really good deal here in exchange for Carson Wentz, but that doesn't save you from the wrath I'm going to put on you later this week, because there's definitely a video rant coming up about Howie Roseman. Absolutely. But, if you're Carson Wentz, I just would have liked to at least give these people that have supported you, the city that has supported you, the city that you said in the beginning that it fits perfectly, the blue-collar mentality fits you perfectly. Give them some kind of explanation for the year that you had, or at least refute the horrible article that came out about how bad of a teammate you were and that you couldn't be coached. I think that the fans, yes, he owed that to the fans. Absolutely. To get paid the money he's getting paid, for guys like me, for fans like Gio, you don't just give up on the city and give up on the team, no matter how bad the management is. You rise above it, and why not? Sure, Jalen Hurts. You go into an open competition, you say, look, this is my team, and I'm going to show why it's my team. People can get behind that, but Carson Wentz didn't. Now, with all that negative, I'm going to try to end this on a positive note. Again, I'm not a spiteful person. Now, I want Carson Wentz to do well in Indianapolis, at least for 2021, because he needs to stay healthy or get the Colts into the playoffs to get us that first-round pick, which, like I said, I think he will. I mean, he's definitely going to bounce back because it's hard to be as bad as you were. Now, for the people that are saying, well, look, I can't wait to see what Jalen Hurts does with that offensive line, it's people that don't know the Eagles or don't watch the games. Look, the Eagles are a little bit older on the offensive line with Lane Johnson. You don't know if Kelsey's coming back. I get it. But they have a good offensive line. You're forgetting how hurt they were, the fact that Brandon Brooks will be back. Again, Kelsey may or may not be back. Lane Johnson should be healthy. Brandon Brooks, I just said that, will be back. Jordan Mailata got a lot of great experience. So did guys like Nate Herbig. And who knows what they're going to do in the draft. Again, it's Howie Roseman, and I'm going to get to him later this week. But I think that the Colts are a great fit for Carson, and it's a shame that if the rumors are true that, the Bears were going to give them more and he said no, it's a shame that he had to go out that way. Again, he just looks absolutely horrible, and I'm sure when he has his first press conference in the middle of March, it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. But I just really hated the way he went out. But he was the guy in 2017. Again, some positivity that really gave me one of the best seasons that I've ever seen. I'll never forget that. And just like Jim Schwartz, who I absolutely hated as a coordinator, I said when he was fired, I'm going to thank him for that year because he was a part of it. I got to thank Carson Wentz, man. Thank him for 2017, the games I went to at the end of 2019 against the Cowboys. And the Giants, that he won those games in some pretty spectacular fashion. Just for, again, giving us some good years here. And again, I hate that it ended the way it did and that mentally, I guess he could not deal with what was going on here. I'll never forget 2017. And I'm going to end this video with a clip from Eagles fan Gio, who has a podcast. And I want everybody to look at this, through the eyes of a younger fan. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's what we all were at one point. And I think that the way that he has dealt with Carson Wentz, who he has absolutely idolized, leaving it is probably the way that most people should. But again, he wasn't good. And he ended this badly, and I'm just glad it's over and that we can move forward and look into the draft. What are the Eagles going to do now at number 6? Is it a quarterback? Is Jalen Hurts the guy? A lot of questions remain. Why does Howie Roseman still have a job in Philadelphia? That's another thing I like to tackle, as well as Howie Roseman, the person. But, again, I'm going to keep these things around, not because I'm rooting for Carson Wentz, the player, because, again, I'm not rooting on anybody that's not wearing Eagles green. That's just not the way I roll. But for the memory of 2017, and just some of the great memories, some of the great games that I had while he was here. With that being said, guys, on to the future. I will be having a video, a rant of some sorts on Howie Roseman and why I cannot believe this guy still has a job here in this city. All that more. Leave your reactions to the Carson Wentz trade in the comments. I know there are a lot of Carson Wentz fans that watch this channel. I know there are a lot of Carson Wentz people that absolutely can't stand the guy, and there are some that are in the middle, kind of like me. I just want what's best for the Birds. So a good Carson Wentz in 21 means we're getting a first-round pick. All right, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds. I'll see you later.
Hey guys, so I just woke up. I was having really bad muscle spasms last night. So I just woke up because I didn't sleep very good last night. But the news just broke that Carson is gone. And this hurts because I can't even put on his jersey right now because I just had surgery and you're still my hero. You always will be. That moment is what matters. Colts fans, you really have a real one. And he's gonna do you some good. I know what he's capable of. I know what he's capable of with Frank Wright. And you guys are gonna go off next season. I can count on it. Carson, I'm gonna always be a fan of you forever. Thank you for what you've done. Go Birds.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I need Eagle Nation to stand.